Bonjour tout le monde, c'est Claire à French in the Midlands. This is a long overdue video about telling the time in French and when to use the 12 or the 24-hour clock. So let's have a look. First of all, if you want to ask what's the time, you need to say il est quelle heure. You may have learnt quelle heure est-il in school, which is far too posh and we'd only ever write that down. Even then, I have written il est quelle heure on occasion. So heure, remember, is the time in this context, as in the hour. You can't use temps because temps either means weather or the time that passes, the concept of time. But for the specific time of day, it's l'heure. And of course, in your answer, you'd usually use it is, il est. So il est is it is for the time. First of all, here's a few rules about telling the time. We're going to start with a 12-hour clock because it's the one we always use in daily life, always. The thing to remember is to read the small hand first, so read the hour first, and then you either add the minute or you subtract them. Remember that one, always the hour first. Whereas in English you'd say it's 3:05. In French it's 3:05, 3 hours 5. Let's have a look. So I've used the example of 3 o'clock. Il est 3 heures. It is 3 o'clock. So 3 heures, because heure starts with the sound which is a vowel sound, ignore your H, we link with the S of trois, so 3 heures. Flows a lot better when you try to say it. And of course, because we don't have AM or PM in French, you have to specify sometimes for appointments or things like that. Otherwise, if it's pretty clear it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd say il est 3 heures. If it's pretty clear it's 3 o'clock in the morning, usually is. You don't need to specify. But if you ever do, 3 a.m. would be 3 heures du matin. 3 p.m. would be 3 heures de l'après-midi. I wish we had the AM and PM like you do. It's quite useful. And then if you want to say it's dead on 3 o'clock, or it's 3 o'clock exactly, il est 3 heures pile. Now 3:05. Il est 3:05. As I said before, it is 3 hours 5. You don't say and, you just say 3 hours 5. So remember, we read the small hand first, 3, and then the minute. Similarly, for the next one, il est 3:10. It's 3:10, but in French, it's 3 hours 10. Then there's a change here. We don't say 3:15, which would be the logical thing to do. We say 3:15. So il est 3:15. Il est 3:15 for 3:15. Now, if you look at the word quart, it's actually quarter, but with the French phonetic being the way it is, the QU is a K, quart, and you don't say the T, silent letter. Il est 3:15, and the A is the and. 3 hours and a quarter. The next one, we're back to the logical kind of way to say the time. Il est 3:20. You see, 20's got 2 silent digits at the end of it. Il est 3:20, 3:20. Fairly straightforward. 3 hours 20. Same for this one. You can probably guess it. Il est 3:25. It's 3:25. Or, in French, 3 hours 25. Now we're coming to another less logical one. In English, you say 3:30. You don't say 3:30 that often, I suppose. So in French, it's going to be the same. It's going to be il est 3:30. It's 3 hours and a half instead of it's 3:30. Next one, interestingly enough, you still start reading the small hand, so the hour, but you're going to say it's 4 hours minus 25. Il est 4 heures moins 25. The moins is minus. Il est 4 heures moins 25. 25 to 4. And now it'll work the same way for this side of the dial. So you can probably guess that one. 4 hours minus 20. Il est 4 heures moins 20. 20 to 4. Il est 4 heures moins 20. Here we find our quarter is back in. Il est 4 heures moins le quart. Quarter to 4. Il est 4 heures moins le quart. Because obviously it's 4 hours minus the quarter. And we're back to a more logical way of telling the time. Il est 4 heures moins 10. It's 10 to 4. It's 4 hours minus 10. Il est 4 heures moins 5. 5 to 4. Or 4 hours minus 5. See how it works? Now there's an exception, so this is why I've put that one in. Whether it's midnight or midday, we never say 12 heures. We never say 12 o'clock. That's just for the 24-hour clock. So when you speak when you're in daily life, it's either midi for midday or minuit for midnight. Mi actually means half. So midi is half the day, minuit half the night. So minuit 12 a.m., midi 12 p.m. Remember that one. If you say 12 heures, the problem is people hear 2 heures a lot of the time, and it's very confusing, so stick to midi and minuit. Now for the 24-hour clock. In a way it's much easier because all you do is read the number. So bear in mind it's the one we tend to use at work, but always for traveling. At work you can use both. For traveling you will always use the 24-hour clock to avoid any ambiguities. Also, if you make an appointment with the doctor or the dentist or any hairdressing salon, they will use the 24-hour clock just to remove any ambiguities, because some salons can open early in the morning, some open late at night, and some doctors and dentists, so you need to be aware. It reads like a normal number, so in a way it's easier as long as you know all your numbers. But the one thing you have to remember is when you write it, it has a small h in the middle. H is for heure. I'll show you some examples on the next page. First example. Il est 3 heures. Il est 15h04. You could also say il est 15h04, but we tend to leave the 0 in for some reason. Il est 22h30. Il est 11h45. Il est 12h02. You see how here we use the 12, but that's for midday. If it was midnight, it would be il est 0h34. I hope you found this useful. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one, and claim your free ebook, The 12 Golden Rules of French, by clicking in the description below. À bientôt!